The game of ego, from satisfaction to dissolution. Have you ever felt the intense pull of your desires, only to realize that no matter how much you fulfill them, the satisfaction never lasts? Or perhaps you've found yourself in a situation where all your plans, dreams, and goals crumble before your eyes, leaving you in a deep, overwhelming despair? If you've ever felt trapped by your own ego, then this video is for you. In this video, we will explore the fascinating transformation from a game of satisfying the ego to one of dissolving it. This journey is not only a deep dive into spiritual growth, but a look at how the process of despair can lead to freedom. The game of ego satisfaction. At the core of our existence, we often play a game where our ego is the player, and the objective is to fulfill desires, satisfy cravings, and chase after things that promise happiness. We want more success, more recognition, more possessions. We run after external validation and think that once we attain it, we will finally feel fulfilled. But the truth is, the satisfaction from these external sources is fleeting. No matter how much we achieve or acquire, it doesn't seem to last. It's like trying to fill a bottomless pit. The ego is never truly satisfied, and yet, we keep chasing the same illusions. The crisis, when the game falls apart. But what happens when everything we built begins to fall apart? When the dream shatters, and the future we envision turns into dust? This is when the game shifts from one of ego satisfaction to a completely new form, one that is both liberating and terrifying. You might find yourself facing a crisis where all your desires, goals, and dreams seem pointless. Perhaps you've reached a point where everything feels empty, and you can't find a way out. The desire to control, to possess, to be acknowledged, begins to fade. This is the moment when the ego, which once seemed so powerful, starts to falter. You no longer know where to go or what to do. It's as if you've lost your bearings. In that moment, there is an opportunity. This is the moment of awakening. The ego's grip starts to loosen, and what was once a life of endless striving begins to open up into a new way of being. The shift, awakening through despair. You see, despair is not something to fear. It is a pivotal point, a doorway that leads you out of the old game and into a new one. The shift from chasing satisfaction to allowing the dissolution of the ego is the key to spiritual growth. In this moment of absolute loss, when there is nothing left to cling to, a new kind of freedom emerges. You are no longer bound by the need to fulfill external desires. You no longer chase after fleeting satisfaction. Instead, you begin to experience life in a more profound way, one that is not driven by the ego, but by a deeper connection to your true self. This new game, the game of awakening, is about letting go of the need to be anyone or achieve anything. It's about being present, being open, and embracing the truth of who you are, beyond all the labels, titles, and ambitions. The new game, from ego to essence. As we move through life, we tend to think of success and fulfillment as goals we need to achieve. But the true game of life is not about satisfying the ego, it's about dissolving it. It's about moving from a place of ego-driven desires to a place of being, where you no longer need external validation to feel complete. This is the awakening game, a game that challenges us to go beyond the ego, to dissolve the illusions that have kept us trapped in cycles of desire and dissatisfaction. The game is no longer about striving for more, but about being present with what is. It's about discovering the essence of who we truly are, and living from that place of deep, unshakable peace. Conclusion: the power of despair. In conclusion, the journey from ego satisfaction to ego dissolution is not an easy one. It requires us to face the despair, the emptiness, and the loss that often comes with life's challenges. But in this very despair, we find the seeds of true freedom. The moment we let go of the need to chase external validation and embrace our true essence, we open the door to a life of true fulfillment. So, if you find yourself in a place of despair or confusion, remember that this could be the turning point, the moment when the old game of ego-driven desires fades away, and the new game of awakening begins. The game is no longer about satisfying the ego, it's about dissolving it. And in that dissolution, you will find the freedom to live authentically, without fear or attachment.